for another day of Fire Emblem. We left off before starting the first free day of Chapter 13 because it was getting late, and free days tend to take a while. Although there's less people to interact with now, so that'll probably have an effect. Supply run. Dealing with deserters. Alois. Sure, start that support.
Hello, Professor. What brings you here? Fancy a bit of fishing? You know, I can hardly go fishing without thinking of old Gerald. He and I would just sit here, casting our lines again and again. I'm no better at it now than I was then.
Are you okay with betraying the monastery like this?
No, just like your father. You know all the tricks of the fisherman's trade.
Just don't be a loudmouth.
I was hopeless at it, but he was
Can
a
you
master.
manage that for a second?
In the time it took me to catch one fish, he could fill his basket to the brim. You know, talking to you, I'm feeling very nostalgic. Why don't you join me? We can trade some stories about the old man.
Sure.
We spoke before about how Gerald never seemed to age, right? Once, when he was drunk, he let the secret slip.
Oh.
He said he'd had an infusion of crest-bearing blood, and it had greatly extended his life.
That's interesting.
Well, we'd both been drinking. I figured he was joking, so I just laughed it off. Then I asked him his age. He said he'd stopped counting after he hit 100.
Oh.
And he was telling the truth. In those 20 years he was away, he didn't age a bit.
So
An
how long do
incredible
crest
person,
people
to be
live?
sure. And I probably don't know the half of it. Actually, I'd like to ask you something about Gerald, if you don't mind. When Gerald was away from the monastery, what was he like?
Probably like to fish.
In other words, he was exactly
that would
the
be my
same.
guess.
When he was with the knights, he always found time to go fishing. He was hooked on it, you might say. He'd say there was no greater pleasure in life than sinking his teeth into a fish he'd caught and washing it down with a drink. I have to say, right now,
Good.
fishing with you, it really takes me back. This feels just like the good old days, when Gerald was sitting alongside me.
Cool. Anyway. Yeah, much fewer people to interact with, so these are probably going to go by noticeably faster. Bernadette is still going to be holed up inside her room. Doesn't look like it. Maybe she learned to actually come out every now and then.
Right.
Hey, I'm not being sarcastic. Here, let me harvest that stuff that I planted 5 years ago. Thanks. Funny how that works. I'm out of money. We need my money.
Professor! Oh my, it's so good to see you. These days, so many old friends seem to be disappearing. But you're here.
I mean, I did disappear for 5 years.
It's incredible to see you again after 5 years. I have a feeling your name will go down in history.
For world's longest nap? Advanced drills. So my students can now teach me things. Now that's interesting. Still have Hilda's stuff. I see. Yeah, that's pretty much how I'm feeling. Ugh. Anything special with fishing today?
Hello.
Nope. I think it was just the diner. Wait, you can't subscribe? Well, I'm not big enough to be subscribed to yet. If you mean, like, subscribe and not follow.
By making an enemy of the church, disorder is running rampant among the populace. It's quieted down over these last 5 years, though. The well-being of Her Majesty is steadily improving.
In order for subscription to be a thing for me, I need 50 followers to become an affiliate. At that point, I can start getting subscribers.
What? Hey there. Come back anytime.
So that's probably what's up.
Come back soon.
Does Edelgard still have her March ring? She does not. Okay. Although she does have 5 move as her current class. Uh-oh. I could give it to a mage. Let's give it to Lysithia.
Hello there.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. What's that? Do I have brothers in the church? You really are well informed.
Why are you
My
still
older twin works for
here?
the Knights of Saros, but I think he's just a grunt, not a noble gatekeeper like yours truly. Unlike me, he's very devout. He left the Empire a long time ago.
Do you just stay here to guard the gate, regardless of who's occupying the monastery? Ah. Huh?
At long last, we meet again. I knew
We just
you
had
were
a support,
alive.
like,
I
2
knew
seconds
you
ago.
could survive. And 5 years on, you arrive. We're reunited. I'm glad I kept watch for you in the downstream villages all that time. I was so devoted to fighting you that I left the Knights of Saros. Now I serve no one other than you. I'll protect you, just as I promised Captain Gerald I would all those
I know,
years
I
ago.
want you to subscribe. I like money, but I can't do it yet. Sorry. Thanks for the thought, though. It's very nice.
I need
And the
to-
day will come eventually. I just gotta keep sitting my ass here and playing my shit. And maybe people will like me.
No.
Yes. She just said nobody would like me. Jeez. Well, fuck
Since
you,
the
bitch.
great nobles lost their standing, the regulation
I
of
like me.
merchant houses has relaxed
Sometimes.
somewhat. You probably have thought that would make it easier for us to profit. But the world isn't so simple. The war has made the price of goods unstable, causing no end of hardship for the people.
Hey, give me that. Also, support.
Professor.
Hey, Professor, something's been bothering me. Remember that suspicious guy I chased after back when I was a student? A knight scolded me for it, but at the time I really thought I was doing the right thing. Now that I've had more experience on the battlefield, though.
I've been looking for you. There isn't much time, so I'll keep this brief. The knights encountered a band of brigands while out marching. It was hard fought, but we prevailed. Our soldiers are highly trained, but the enemy was formidable, and we weren't expecting combat. There were a number of casualties among our troops. Much appreciated, but there's a reason I need to bring this to your attention. The brigands all bore identical tattoos of a scorpion on their arms. Please keep an eye out for that mark in the future.
Oh no.
Part of the same gang that the guy Caspar chased after before was, I think.
Don't mention it. If you'll excuse me, I need to get back to my duties.
Heck of a coincidence, right? As soon as I mention that suspicious guy, this happens. But some of the knights died in combat.
Well,
They died
it
because
tends
of
to
what I
happen
did
in
5
combat.
years ago. This
Unless,
is
of
my
course, you can
fault.
reverse the flow of
I'd
time,
stayed
like me,
quiet
in
and
which
tracked
case
the
I
guy
might be
down
like,
like you said.
nah.
You would have stopped those brigands sooner, and I wouldn't have blood on my hands. It's no use trying to comfort me. You know I'm right. Just say it. Those poor knights. It's all my fault.
If you're wondering why some of the characters look different, Actually, I think it was starting with this chapter, there was a 5-year time skip, and so everyone's 5 years older.
What?
Except for me, because I was asleep for 5 years, for whatever reason. Hell of a nap.
Pardon me.
The last 5 years have been difficult at times. My relationship with Edelgard is rather contentious, due to the incident with my father. Nevertheless, I cannot abandon my family's duties. As Duke Ire, I must play my part in the Imperial Army. Edelgard intends to abolish the nobility, but I know I can dissuade her from doing so.
Within the territories of the Alliance, the Gloucester and Daphne houses dominate the West. House Gloucester has always supported the Empire. There's not much chance of them defying us. So all that needs to be done to restore peace in the West now is to crush House Daphne.
I also downloaded the Season Pass, which doesn't give me much right away. You know, DLC is just going to come out over time. But it did give me this snazzy uniform to wear while I'm up and about. I look like some sort of Nazi officer or something. Nazis were bad, but their clothes were awesome.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna get kicked off Twitch.
All right, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this. Leave it to me. I can take on the whole, most of the enemy's army. I know my limits now, Professor.
It's mainly the hat that gives me that impression. Yes, teach me axes. Thank you.
I'm getting the hang of this.
Now I can become a hero, I think, with 100%
Right.
chance. Ah, slow down, please. Alright, I have no monies. I can't buy their specialties right now. I have certainty.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom and Alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first, but corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty.
Teach me more swords. Ooh, sword tournament, by the way. My one concern about this is that her defense is not the best, but she's pretty strong and fast.
I fight for justice's name.
Yes, please keep dodging like that.
With all of my might! I fight for justice's name.
Damn. That's 360 chance. 60% accuracy attack she's dodged in a row. I'm getting dumb lucky. Of course, now that I say that. Oh, I'll just crit them to death before they can attack.
For everyone.
Perfect. Huh, I'm still gonna hit them twice. And they're Swordmaster. Don't miss.
You are in my way.
Good.
Each battle a victory.
Here, you get a training wooden sword, and you're gonna be fighting people with steel swords. Wait a minute. I'm not entirely sure this is okay.
Hey there.
Hey.
Ah, a new face. I am Randolph von Berglies. I'm the guardian of this place. Wait a moment. I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, yes. You're Her Majesty's professor. You're alive?
Yep.
Oh, this is my little sister, Fleisch. She's just a rookie, but she's helping me as my assistant.
Hello, I'm Fleisch von Berglies. It's
You're
nice to meet you.
adorable.
I know I'm inexperienced, but I'm gonna do my best. You can count on me to look after my big brother.
I've heard you're planning to march into Alliance territory. I'll be here to guard the fort.
Can I recruit either of you?
Ah, I'm the guardian. Ah,
I know I'm.
I've heard you.
I guess if I can, not now.
There were clashes with the Kingdom Army near the Western Front. But this is the first time the Alliance Army has had an honest-to-goodness fight. I hear their leader's pretty competent. But the Alliance Army is pretty tough, too.
Support with Ferdinand.
Take that!
Don't just take a swing at me, dude.
Yes, I am in a hurry. Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him. But she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. Now, as the head of House Eyre, I serve Edelgard. I have to accept that I am her subordinate, working beneath her to reunify Fodlan. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious. She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing. But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all. As the head of the noble House Ire, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever. I appreciate that, but it is not enough to persuade me. I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor?
No. Yes?
Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
Professor? A moment, please.
No. No moments for you. Piss off. Nice at ya.
I'm relieved you're here, Professor. It seems we've reached a stalemate on the war front. I admit I'm feeling apprehensive about fighting the Alliance. I agree. It's time to shelve my personal feelings and focus on the bigger picture. I'll fight with full force. I'm counting on you to lead us to victory, Professor.
Morale meals.
I think I like this, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
Oh, I love this.
I've been working here for a few years now. There are plenty of others working here too. Since the acolytes and students aren't here, it's up to us to pick up the slack.
The north side of the Great Bridge of Murphy is in the territory of Acheron of the Alliance. He's known as the Weatherman. He's a notoriously flippant man. A man like that doesn't have the guts to give it all for the defense of that bridge.
Oh, that's good for us. No, there's nothing over there, so.
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me? I'm a mercenary. Always have been. Even when I was with the Knights of Saros. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon. But I might change my mind if you're around.
Okay. Are we leaving for battle? I heard it's a long march. But it's fine. I've had plenty of time to stay inside lately, so I think it's time I run out. Yeah, I can do this.
No more Bernie Bear.
Bernie Bear?
Oh, yeah. People call me Bernie Bear since I hole up in my den all the time. Not anymore, though.
It's kind of adorable.
Definitely.
Oh. Hi.
I see a support.
Hi there. Professor?
Dorothea. How goes
This
it?
may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.
That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with. Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger? I
If
was
you
an
must.
orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Middle Frank Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice, and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started. You can never be certain about what the future will bring. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist.
God, I'm really
Right.
starting to get conflicted about who to romance now. I was just gonna go with Edelgard, because, you know, she's the main waifu. But I also really like Dorothea. She's pretty cool.
After the battle 5 years ago, the Imperial Army occupied Garreg Mach. The cathedral and several other buildings were destroyed, but we've done some repair work here and there, and we're using the buildings as a base of operations. As for me, well, the church moved its headquarters to Fargus, and I've seen no reason to follow. When I returned to Enbar, I received a summons from Her Majesty, and I chose to answer.
One note. In the past, I would nearly pass out if I got splattered by an enemy's blood. Nowadays, I remain entirely conscious, even if my face is drenched in blood. It's disgusting. I mean... yeah. It's pretty gross to be splattered with blood.
I was so surprised to hear that the faith of Saros was a sham.
My eyes nearly popped out of my skull. But just because the church lied to us doesn't mean that the goddess isn't real. That's my take on it anyway. I feel very anxious with no one to pray to.
Need something?
Nah, I'm good.
See you again soon.
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hey!
So,
Professor, I'm sorry to have dragged you into the fight again so soon after our reunion, but you appeared at a most opportune time. I'm truly humbled by your support, my teacher. Thank you. And so I will. I'm hoping your abilities from 5 years prior are still intact. Make sure you're ready to head out, okay?
Allow me to brief you on the details of our situation. The Empire firmly controls the western portion of Fargus. However, the central and eastern regions continue to put up heavy resistance. The strongholds in these regions are Aryan Road, the fortress city, and Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. We cannot control Fargus until we have taken both of these cities. As for the Alliance, Houses Gloucester and Ordelia seem predisposed to capitulate to us. However, due to interference from Houses Regan and Goneril, we have yet to secure their cooperation. Claude obviously hopes to keep the Alliance whole through diplomacy. But because we have had to focus our efforts against the Church until now, our forces have yet to meet his. We have only recently begun to take the fight to Alliance territory. I have a request for you.
Could I trouble?
Hello.
Professor, do you know how happy I was to hear you were still alive? I'll tell you how happy. For the past 2 days, I haven't had my morning or my afternoon naps.
morning nap.
Well, as long as we weren't marching. Can't sleep much then. But it's not for want of trying.
You finally joined us, have you? I attached myself to the Imperial Army as well. Seemed the thing to do. I feel I owe it to Edelgard to set my past feelings about the Empire aside. I am happy to help her. It's strange, isn't it? After 5 years, the 3 professors are together once more. I am most curious, though. You say you were asleep for 5 whole years. Incredible. Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. I do look forward to investigating you in greater detail. Wonderful news. I am most excited to begin. We must find
Could I have a
time,
crest that doesn't make me fall asleep for 5 years?
It's normal for history to be revised in favor of those who hold the power. The documents in this library are no exception. It's perfectly possible for someone to have made edits to them. But it's my belief that no one has the power to blot out the truth entirely. I like to read the same texts over and over again. That way, I can spot some of the truths hidden between the lines.
Where's this quest? Oh, cabbage and weeds. Weeds? You need weeds? Okay.
Hello there. Return soon, please.
Hey, welcome. Come again.
Hello there. Return soon, please.
Hey.
Well, I have 2 weeds and 8 cabbage. Oh. So I can just go ahead and return to Hubert? Question mark?
Well...
There we go.
Professor. Thank you.
Did it.
Professor. I'll tell you.
There we go. Thunder. And reason
This
level 2.
experience is critical.
Well, that'll be that.